Okay, great. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast tonight. We have a magnificent guest with us, one who is going to give us some amazing information as well as inspiration, and that is none other than our sister, Queen Aminah Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
Well, alaikum salam, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great. It means a lot to myself, my family, and the viewing audience of the People's Podcast that you would take time out of your busy schedule to come let us hear your amazing life journey and incredible testimony. The first question that we have,
Yes, sir. Thank you.
yes, ma'am. The first question that we have for you is, when did you first hear the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
Yes, sir. I was actually invited to hear the minister speak in 1980. I saw him at, I think it was the Bonaventure Hotel. And then from there, I went to, he spoke at the Fifth Avenue Theater, Manchester, I think in Inglewood. And so that's when I first heard him speak. And I was just amazed because, of course, I'm from Detroit. And I remember seeing the Muslims and talking to them and patronizing them, but I didn't really know the teaching, you know? And so when I heard him speak, I was just totally amazed. And every time that he would come into LA, I would make sure I went to see him.
Oh,
And sir?
No, I'm listening. I'm listening.
Interesting, the sister that I came with, she didn't join. I ended up joining, the one that introduced me. Oh, Aminah, you should come and hear Minister Farrakhan because he loves Black people and you always talking about Black people. You should come and hear him, you know. And so and you had to listen during that time, we didn't have a mosque. And so we had to listen on the radio, I think it was KJLH, on Saturday to find out where the mosque meeting would be held on Sunday. And so that's what we did all of 80, I think 80, some of 81 too. We had to listen on the radio to find out where to come and hear the teaching. And that was with, Minister Khalid. Yes, sir.
Excellent. Okay, great. And people are showing you love all across the country. And my sister Miriam sends the greetings. Walaikum salam, Mimi. And thank you, everybody. Can't wait to put this on YouTube. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So what was it about the teachings that struck you that made you want to accept?
Well, I tell you, that is so interesting in itself. So for about a year, I would come to every meeting, every mosque meeting, and I would take notes. And I just couldn't believe that I didn't have this information. I never heard of a lot of this information. So I would go to the library to see if I could find if it was the truth or not. And a year, I couldn't find not one lie. I mean, everything that was taught was true. And so I just said, one day I woke up, I think it was in June, I said, oh, I'm joining today because I could not find anything that was not true. And I absolutely love the teaching. As I said, I'm from Detroit. I grew up in a neighborhood, in a community, really, all Black. And I grew up in a neighborhood where there were a lot of Black-owned businesses. So I love the whole concept of doing for self, the knowledge of self, the unity of the brotherhood, the sisterhood. I just, I was just really amazed. And I can remember, in the early days that it was really like you had to figure out how to get to the mosque and where the meeting was going to be at. And so I just remember that we didn't care. Wherever the minister wanted to speak, we were going to show up. Yes, sir. Our praise is due to Allah.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. So now let us know what was the climate like 1980? You come into mosque, West Coast. I know you're from Detroit, by the way, but you're in LA. Who's training you all? Like, are y'all like, how are y'all putting everything together? This is like the foundation. Like, how is that happening?
Oh, yes, sir. The MGT, listen, we came in at a beautiful time because we were actually taught, I was taught by Mother Tynetta Muhammad. She taught class. She would fly in from Phoenix or wherever she was at every Saturday, and she taught the class. She helped put the structure of the NGT class together. So, and it was brother, if she didn't come, which she did come most of the time, at that time, it was I don't remember her name, sister from out of Phoenix. She would come. Um, I don't remember her name. Anyway, she would come. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And so they set up the MGT class, and Minister Khalid, oh, he was a real. He worked. We worked. We would go. He would have us come and meet him sometimes on Saturdays or during the week, and we would go and recruit, and especially Sunday morning. He had a white Rolls Royce, and he would come get me, and we would go right up and down Crenshaw, and this was like in the 83, 84, or 85, somewhere in there. And we would go and pick up sisters, put them in the car, and take them to the mosque. And that's how we really ended up filling that mosque up. And sometimes we have as many as 500 people in the mosque on the sister side, sometimes just on the sister side. Yeah. That was the mosque show when we had the Star and Crescent.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah. So we actually, we did everything. We went to all the festivals, all the events. We were really serious about recruiting and bringing our sisters and brothers to this teaching. And so that was how we built the nation. And when the minister was coming to speak, by that time we had started getting emails and addresses and phone numbers from different people. And so we would meet sometime as early as 5 or 6 o'clock a.m. And we would send out invitations, inviting people to come to hear the minister when he spoke or wherever he was speaking at. So it was a lot of dedicated people that would come at 5 a.m. and stay all morning, putting stamps on the envelopes, whatever needed to be done, we did it.
All praise due to Allah. And Sister Queen Aminah, I want to thank you on behalf of myself, my family, and the viewing audience of the People's Podcast for your sacrifice and the sacrifice of your family as well. We thank Allah for you all of the work that you have done for years to help establish Islam here in North America. We thank you very much, ma'am.
Oh, it was an honor.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
How did your family and friends feel about you joining the Nation of Islam?
Well, at first, my family was a little apprehensive. They felt that I was getting involved with something because they didn't know. They had no idea. But after they saw me, like a year or 2 years later, after I joined, they all felt that it was probably like the best decision I've ever made. My friends, they came. I would invite them to the mosque and to the meetings, but they didn't join. But I think that everyone felt that it was a good decision for me. And at that time, I had a store. I was in Beverly Hills. I had a store in Beverly Hills, and it was called La Découverte. And it was a French name for, and I'm probably going to say it totally right, but it means the discovery in French. And so I had a lot of friends, and on that side of town, but I just realized that my heart was not there. It was something missing. And for me, what was missing was the nation and the teachings and listening to the lectures and being around the brotherhood and sisterhood. So I really didn't care what my friends thought at that point.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I'm glad that you were able to be strong and stay strong for all of these years. Meeting the Most High Minister Sis Farrakhan coming to Los Angeles. When was your first time meeting him, and what was that experience like?
Oh, my first time meeting him. Wow. My first time actually meeting him, he came to the mosque. Oh, I met him several times in the early days, but when I really had a one-on-one and he kind of knew my name and knew who I was there. My children's father, Amin Muhammad, he was the Western Regional Secretary. And so, so I was introduced by him to the minister, and so he knew my name. And I remember many times that he would always ask and always extend the greetings to me when he was, speaking to my children's father. So it was an honor. Listen, we were in love. We all loved as a group of us. We just loved the minister. Wherever he told us to go, we went. Wherever he told us to stay away from, we stayed away from it. All we knew was that we was going to follow Farrakhan. And the last think about the sisters that follow Farrakhan, like the women that follow Jesus. We were the women that followed Farrakhan. I tried to go wherever he was speaking. I started traveling and going to different cities to hear him speak. Yes.
Incredible. Now, what was it? When was it? Did you go from seeing him as maybe an activist or a public speaker to someone who was in fact divinely guided into the man who he is today? Like when? Like what was it? The aha moment where you was like, "That's the one." How did you know?
Well, that was when, like I said, I took a year and I studied teachings and I studied what he said. And for me, it was really kind of from the beginning. I didn't totally understand who he was, but I did know that he was a man of God. And I totally trusted him and believed in everything that he was saying because it was just right and exact. And it felt good. It felt right. It was perfect for me. I also, it was so many situations that I'm trying to think of one that I want. Okay, so when I was pregnant with my daughter, the minister, I asked him to name her, and he did. He named Jalila. He gave her name, but it took like a month or 6 weeks before he had that revelation, I guess. And so it was just interesting. So on her birth certificate, it said baby Muhammad for a long time. But, now that I think back on that, of course, with his schedule and all the different things he's doing, just the fact that he took the time to give her a name was an honor. And there's so many stories like that I have where he took the time to help us or to, call us or to say something to us. Jalila was in the hospital not long ago. And the minister actually called and spoke to her and Brother Salih and myself. And I mean, I got chills just thinking about it. He had the time to call and talk to us, and I'll never forget that. I could cry now. It was just so beautiful that he took the time to call us and pray for us. And, he said, do you think Allah came here? How did he say it? Do you think Allah came here to make us suffer? And we were like, oh, no, no, sir, no, sir. And he said, no, he said he came here to give us life and give us life more abundantly. And him, I just think about, what manner of man is this? What manner of man is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan? He is the Messiah in our midst. And he does make miracles. I'm telling you, miracles, because Jalila is well. And that was a miracle in itself. Yeah, and that's just one out of many. Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. And people are showing you love all across the country. My sister Naima sends the greetings. People are showing you love all the way from Mexico. Brother Abraham Sharif says, "Dear Sister Aminah and People's Podcast, him and his family are here watching from Mexico. Thank you very much." Sister Nola says, "Assalamu alaikum, family. Wa alaikum salam, Sister Nola." And then, of course, your daughter, Sister Jalila, is in the comments bearing witness as well.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, no, I have had so many moments. My children and my children's father and I separated, and I became a single parent. And I can remember, really struggling, trying to figure out how I was going to do whatever I was going to do. And I can remember, there were some very difficult days, that we had. And I can remember it was mandatory in my house for everybody to get up and make prayer at 5:00. And I told they had to because I didn't have a man in my house. And the only man that I had that I could report to was Allah. And the minister, of course, but I wasn't gonna bother him with all the little details. So I would make them pray, get them up at 5. Everybody said prayer. And then I would tell Allah on my children. Whatever they did or it wasn't right, I would tell Allah. And they would look at and discuss, like, oh my God, I can't believe she's telling Allah. Yeah, I told Allah, yeah, Amin stole my car last night, but he think that I don't know it, but I do know that he took my car when I was asleep. And Allah, I just want you to just chastise him, just let him know, make him understand that he cannot continue to take my car. Little things like that.
Yes, ma'am.
But yes, sir, those are the kind of things that I instilled in them, prayer and Islam. and that's all I could give them. At that point, that was what I was involved with, and that's what I tried to share and give to my family.
Beautiful. All praises. So excellent. And people are showing you love all across the country and can't wait to put this on YouTube. And people are laughing at the story about our brother, the chef,
Yeah, he was rebellious when he was the one that didn't want to get up for prayer time. And I read a message to the black man that said, when they're 10 years old, if they don't get up and pray, beat them. Oh, I had a belt. He got a belt, got whipped. I would tear that behind. Oh no, you're gonna pray. And I would get up and we would go pray, and it was a beautiful thing. Now he's very prayerful.
Yes, ma'am. I can imagine so.
Yes,
praise to Allah. And welcome to Sister Khadija. Okay. Has there ever been a time where you've been faced with fear? And if so, how have you overcome that fear?
Yes, sir. Oh, yes, sir. Several times. As I said, when their father and I broke up, I was definitely faced with fear because I had 3 children and I didn't have a job because I didn't, have to work during that time. Back during those days, I wasn't working. I did have my business. I had 2 businesses. Actually, I didn't work I didn't have a job, but I had my own business. But during that breakup, I kind of lost everything. We had a daycare and I had a bookstore, but lost everything. So here I am with 3 children, and I didn't have a car, and I didn't have any money, and I had to figure out how we were going to survive. And I couldn't think, sometimes there's fear and challenges in life can take you in dark places that you never even realized, you could go in the depths of it. And so I can just remember that the only faith place that I had was in prayer, and I became quite prayerful. It's interesting. There was 3 sisters. We were all going through divorces. And I remember we would meet at each other's home. This is a true story. And we would pray 114 rakahs every Sunday from 3 to 4 hours. We would meet at 5 o'clock and just pray. And all of us were going through hard divorces, hard separation. It was just overwhelming. And only thing that we had to hold on to was the hem of Allah. And we did do that. And we would pray. It would take us 3 and 4 hours, I think, to make all 14 rakahs based on the Holy Quran. And so that was how I overcame my fear. Yeah, that was how I overcame it. And Allah blessed me, opened up the doors, and and we haven't looked back. I can remember in the early days when the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan he asked us to make a sacrifice and to not to help him build our nation. He said, I know you have aspirations and dreams. He said, but I need your help. He said, everything that you want to do, just put it on hold. Help me build this nation. And if you help me build this nation, he said, Allah will reward you with everything that you want and all of, what a much success. I'm paraphrasing, but I can say, and I can bear witness going back to those days in the early 80s and looking at the sacrifice. I was poor and I didn't really know I was poor, I had such a rich spirit, and we were so happy being around Islam and the nation and the mosque and the believers. And I just think back on that now, and I'm just so thankful because I'm looking at my life now and I'm like, wow, I remember we lived in a brand new house. Oh my goodness. We lived in a brand new house. Excuse me for 1 second.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. I'm going to take a 60-second commercial break while Sister Queen Aminah is taking her break. Thank you, everyone who continues to like, share, subscribe to the People's Podcast, as well as every anonymous Cash App. We greatly appreciate it. Second.
A camera and a drone. He does television and film editing. Please reach out to him if you need any of those services. Sister Miriam's ABC I Love Me, children's book and coloring book, and now Spanish book. All 3 available on Amazon.com. Sister Naima's Stay on Point Dance Academy, LLC. She teaches ballet virtually to young girls all across the country, right here in the studios of Atlanta, Georgia. Brother Kenneth's bow tie maker extraordinaire. He'll ship you bow ties anywhere across the nation. Dr. Henry Carter's King Henry Turkey Legs, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Brother Rashad Muhammad's COVID-19 disinfected cleaning services out of Chicago. Student Minister Sharif Muhammad's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ, available on adulsharif.com. And lastly, Brother Joshua Muhammad's book, Cleopatra, as well as No Father, No Excuse, both available on Amazon. If you would like...
Perfect. All right.
Okay, yes, sir. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, ma'am. It's perfect timing. And people in the
Okay.
comments saying, wow, Allah Akbar, that is sisterhood, beautiful. All right. Yes, ma'am. Okay, we were back with
I was
you.
making a point.
Yes, ma'am.
What was that point? What was I saying? I was saying that the minister had asked all of us to sacrifice our time to help rebuild the nation. And at that time, I of course I wanted to go to college. I had all these thoughts and things that I wanted to do, but I didn't do it. And I waited. And I am so thankful to Allah that I followed his instruction. And because, now Allah has blessed my children, he's blessing me. I'm just so thankful and grateful, and oh my God. And even my getting involved with the garments, that became it was just a pet peeve. Every time I would go to Savior's Day in the early 80s, I really, really wanted to buy garments, and I never saw them. So I remember thinking, I'm gonna have to make garments myself. Now at that time I couldn't sew. I didn't know anything about manufacturing or any of that, but I remember saying that and thinking that. And then I had the desire. To do that for the sisterhood. And that is really how that came about. That desire led me to the people that I needed to meet. And the rest is history. I started making the garments, manufacturing, and I wanted to see the sisters in beautiful colors, an array of colors. I mean, we have the 4 colors, but I wanted more. And so that was really my inspiration and how I got involved with the garments.
All praise due to Allah. Yes, ma'am. Now, where can the sisters get the garments from you, and where can the brothers buy them for their wives, mothers, sisters? How can we support?
Well, yes, sir. And I do want to say that I do make linen suits for men as well.
Okay,
and,
yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. So I give you my website, queenaminahstore.com, and my email address, queenaminahclothing@yahoo.com. And they can they can call or email, or I can give my phone number.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, by all means.
323-873-7885.
Yes, ma'am. And so are you saying that we should not wait till the last minute like many of us do to bombard you? The closer we get to Savior's Day to get garments, we should try to order them in advance.
Please. And especially if we're talking about a whole city. If we're talking about a whole city and you want one color, please call me in September. I can't continue to do a 2-week wonder. It was too much.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Brother Joshua. I appreciate it. You've been so patient. You've been so patient with me. I had COVID. You really didn't want to talk to me a few years ago, because after COVID, it was just unbelievable. I mean, it's taking me, and still to this day, I'm not 100%, but it takes away a few things. Like I can sometimes just a memory of something that you experience once you've had COVID and you had it kind of bad. It takes away your memory on some things. Yeah. So it's all coming back now. But back then I said, oh no, I can't be on your show. It wasn't personal. It was just strictly, that I didn't feel like my best.
No, well, I understand. I'm right here patient with you. Me and Sister Delita spoke about it at Savior's Day because she thought it was personal too. But I was like, all right, what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, let me get this interview. I need the exclusive. What about the Million Man March? What was the climate like in LA, and how did it personally impact you as a sister?
Oh, I was so excited. I was just so excited. Everything that we could do to help, we did. We helped raise money. We did fundraisers. I did a fashion show. I remember in Leimert Park, and sister, I call her Sister Connie. I'm so Sabora,
Mhm.
in your city, your
Yes, ma'am.
protocol, Sabora,
Yes. Um,
Sister
Sabira.
Connie, Sabira,
Sabira.
Sister
Sabira.
Sabira. She was in charge of the fundraiser for in Leimert Park, and I remember helping to do a fashion show there. It was just beautiful. It really, really was beautiful. I can remember that morning, we getting up early, getting the children up, and having company over, and we just was celebrating the name of our Lord. We were so excited about that Million Man March. I'm telling you, and it went viral so quick. It was on CNN. It was just everywhere. And I was just so excited. I really was. I wish my children were old enough that they could have experienced that.
Yes, ma'am. All praises
Mhm.
to Allah. And
Yeah.
once again, people are showing you love all across the country. And Sister Khadija says, "Wow, she could not even imagine Queen Aminah not knowing how to sew." Yeah, she could. She could imagine that how to sew. And this is Khadija Bilal says she loves his sister, Brother Amin, who I think he brought your car back now because he's in the comments. So hopefully, you know what I mean. He brought the car back. Yes, ma'am. Khadija Bilal says she loves this sister. She's been knowing her since she was a child. May Allah continue to bless you and your family.
Thank
Um,
you.
Yes, ma'am. Well, speaking of your children and now grandchildren, how has being a grandmother impacted you?
Oh, it's a beautiful feeling. It really is a beautiful feeling. You know, you love your children and you spend so many times trying to guide them in the right direction. And then once they're, all grown and married, then, next you're going to look at your grandchildren. And I've enjoyed being a grandmother. I really have. I don't have an issue with that. Some people have issues about getting older. I don't have one. And,
Mm.
as long as I can keep this, sister, as long as we can keep it tight, we good.
Yes, ma'am. Praise to Allah.
Praise
Now,
be to Allah.
what advice would you give to future mothers?
Yeah, so I was part of my journey was I worked with midwives, I worked with a medulla,
Mm,
postpartum doula, labor coach. Yeah, I've had quite a few journeys since I've been in the nation. And when I found
mm,
out from Brother Minister Jabril, I found out that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad actually wanted the sisters to have their babies at home. Now, that was
mm,
what he told me.
mm,
But during that time, years ago, we definitely didn't eat out and we didn't eat fast food. So it's a whole different climate today. I wouldn't advise it unless you really are strict with your diet and lifestyle. But I would say to the young girls to take care of yourself. Listen to the lectures that the Honorable Miss Louis Farrakhan has given us on how to give birth to a God. That is what I did with my children. I listened to those lectures and those tapes, and I studied them, and then I tried to implement them in my life. And that was how I reared my children. I took the teaching, that was all I had. So I took
yes,
the
ma'am.
teaching and I tried to follow it to the best of my ability. And I'm thankful, I'm grateful that my family love Islam. They love Islam. But I'll tell you one thing, sister, do not talk grown-up business around your children.
Mm,
When I
mm,
grew up, grown people had conversations and the children were excused and went in another room. But today we talk about everything right in front of our children. So they
mm,
know who you like, who you don't like, and they will get in front of a person that you don't like and they will act rude to them. I mean,
mm,
that's just how children are. So I would say that we have to really be mindful. If you want your child to be a Muslim, then you can't talk against the Muslims. Keep it real. Have grown conversations with grown up women and let your children be excused into another room and do not share and talk to them like they're grown because they
mm,
can't handle it. And I think that's one pet peeve I have, as well as let them be children. Let them enjoy life. I spent a lot of time making sure my children had fun because that was important. I took them horseback riding. I took them to museums, to parks, to roller skating. I did those activities with them because I wanted them to enjoy life and enjoy the Islam. If the only thing they do is come to the mosque all the time, and you don't have other entertainment and things for them to do, it isn't a balance. So you want to have a balance, and you want your children to love Islam, and they loved it. Mine loved it because I did, and that's what I would share with young women today, is to just try to show your children the best you, because we know we have the other side, but just try to show them the best of yourself that you can.
Beautiful. Yes, ma'am. All praise due to Allah. And everybody saying Ameen, and praise due to Allah. Great advice. Excellent. What has been your greatest trial, and how have you overcome that trial now?
Wow. Yeah. A couple. It was very traumatic during the time that my children's father and I separated, and he left. But at the same time, I was going through my mother was transitioning. So I had my mother transitioning, going through a divorce, separation, and I lost my house and car and everything. And we were kind of homeless, to be real and exact. So that was the greatest trial that I had. But I remember, and I know this was going to sound a little crazy, but I remember we were catching the bus, we were catching the train, we were doing all that to get to the mosque. And I just refused to succumb, I said, I don't care what we have to do on Sunday, we are going to get to the mosque. And we did, a lot of times I didn't even have any money. I would get on that bus and tell the bus driver I don't have any money, but I'm trying to go to the mosque. I have on my full garment, and they would let me on, and we would go to the mosque. So I overcame it by not succumbing to it. Yeah, it was a temporary situation. Yeah, I was poor and broke and kind of hungry, but I didn't believe I was going to stay that way. I really did believe that Allah was going to protect us and guide us, and I was going to be very successful in life. I believe that.
Allah, yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful. Yes, ma'am. You inspire me, you inspire others. I know you inspire others. Yes, ma'am. Praise be to Allah.
Yes, sir.
What has been your greatest joy in life?
My greatest joy is family. And the love of Allah. We can nurse the Quran and read it and study it, and I can just laugh at some of those prophets. It's hilarious to me. But my family too. Love watching them grow and watching them come into womanhood and manhood has been my greatest joy in life. Watching them, they're all growing in such beautiful ways, and I'm enjoying that. And traveling, I love to travel. I was like, okay, well, I hope the travel ban is over in the next year or two, because I love traveling. We went to Egypt, we went to Dubai, I went to China. China was awesome. China was awesome. They love Black people in China. It's a misconception when you think about how they treat us here. When you go there, they running up to you, trying to hug you and kiss you and touch your hair and I don't know what they're saying, but I just love going out of the country. I do. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Well, yes, I know some of the people who watch the podcast. They often try to I've interviewed people who travel to Africa. Have you been to Africa? And is it worth the hype that everybody makes? You got to go to Africa. Does it equal the hype that you've seen?
What? Unfortunately, I was going to West Africa in April, but we had the ban, so I have to wait and postpone on that one. But I have been to Dubai and I have been to Egypt. And those are both African countries. And yes, I must say it's worth going, both of those places, because we are well received. They love Black people. Not everybody, but a lot of people do. They kept telling us, my husband and I, welcome home, everywhere we went. And we thought, wow. So the family, we all went to Egypt together, and it was just spectacular. I can only say that everyone should travel to Egypt. You have to go and see the pyramids. You have to go and see your history and culture. I mean, it gives you a better understanding of what happened and why it happened and how it happened. But it's all right there, and it shows you the richness and the height of civilization that we had back then. Yes, and looking at where we are now, it's just like, no comparison, but the hieroglyphics, they had a full language, a full culture, a full history. And now, the grave diggers are over there trying to dig it all up and claim it. But no, it was beautiful, beautiful. You must go to Egypt.
Okay, yes, ma'am. And because I have another question, but I see your son, Amin, says he's on the train, so his internet goes in and out of this awesome, loving every minute. Thank you, brother Amin, for watching. So Latasha says, all praise to Allah. People saying faith, yes, ma'am, balance, wonderful. What was the food like? Because that's really my main thing besides like the bug stuff. What you eating overseas? Like, what was it like in Egypt? What did you eat?
Egypt was really awesome because Egypt, Dubai, those countries, they have a lot of vegetarian dishes as well as fish dishes. So we had a lot of vegetarian dishes and fish dishes. They in some areas, the better areas, they eat pretty decent. And they have fresh juices and all that. Yeah. So we ate pretty good. Yeah.
Okay.
We didn't get sick.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Right. Even in China. We had someone at the hotel write in Chinese, right, that we weren't wanting to go to the restaurant and we only wanted vegetarian meals. So they wrote it out. So when we would go to a restaurant, we would give it to them, and so that they would only give us vegetarian meals. And then we found a Turkish restaurant, and they had the best of everything, and that's where we ate at every day.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so now you're helping expand our brains, not just mine. Everybody's watching the podcast. We're going to China. We're going to go to Egypt, Dubai. You helping us out? Yes, ma'am. My question for you is, what type of music do you like to listen to?
Music? I like all music. Okay. I can listen to classical music, jazz. I can listen to R&B. I can listen to some rap. How about that?
Yes,
yeah, I do love it. I do enjoy music. I'm from Detroit, so I'm from Motown. I'm in the Motown era, so that was how I grew up. That's what we did on the weekend. Every weekend we went to the Fox Theater and we would see everybody. You might see Diana Ross, Marvin Gaye, Supreme. Yeah, just every week somebody big that are big now. They were some of them were not really well established yet, but they were on their way up. So we would see them now, like the Dramatics and just a lot of different groups, but I grew up with all that.
That's
incredible. I love that era, especially.
Yes, ma'am. Now, what advice would you give to the sisters who are coming in, who want to wear garments, the beauty of modesty and things like that? Could you speak on that?
The sisters in the nation or outside?
No, outside the nation who are coming, who they see the garment, but they don't fully understand it. And you make fashion, they just don't understand the beauty of modesty. Could you speak on that?
Yeah, sure. Well, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us to put a clean glass next to a dirty glass. So if we wear our garments and go out into the community, they're going to comment. They're going to come up to you and ask you where did you get this outfit from? They want to look like we look. The problem is, of course, our society teaches them to take off all their clothes. So the only example they're going to have is the example that we give them. And I do wear my garments to work. And ever since Ramadan, during Ramadan and up to now, I've been bringing more guests to the mosque than ever. 2 weeks ago, I had 14 guests. And last week I had 7. Today I had 6. And you know what I'm doing? Wearing my garments and inviting them to the mosque. That simple. And I think we're at a point where the climate is right. They're looking for answers. They're looking for the truth. And because I can remember last year, I would invite them to the mosque, but they didn't always come. And maybe it was me. Maybe the fact that I went through Ramadan and I cleansed and I healed and something I shed off that now I'm attracting to me people, and they're coming and they're standing up and accepting. So I just want to say that what I would say to the sisters, unlike attracts. So if we're dressing and looking like they're looking, they're not going to be attracted to you. But if you're dressing as a Muslim, they're going to be attracted to you, and they're going to come to the mosque if you invite them.
Wonderful. Yes, ma'am. Will you ever write a book on your personal life?
That is so interesting. Jaleel and I, Jalila always talks to me about that, and I am planning to do it because I do need to. And that's the truth. I do need to. I do really, really do need to do that. Thank you, Brother Joshua. You're my confirmation.
Yes, ma'am. No
I will
problem.
do. I will do that.
Oh, praise to the Lord. And when you do it, before everybody try to start running getting your autograph, can we get the exclusive about what the book is going to be about when you're ready to do your rollout and all of that?
Without a doubt, you'll be the first one on the list.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank
Well,
you.
yes, ma'am. You spoke about Mother Tynetta, Dr. Khalid, Minister Jabril, most all from the 80s to now. What advice? We know that the departure is coming, and you have a wealth of knowledge that you life experience, but being taught by some of the best teachers, here. What advice would you give to the younger generations on how we can stay 10 toes down in our faith and in Islam? What advice would you give to us?
Yes, sir. I would just say, stay in the mosque. Stay in the mosque, and when there's a time that we can't come to the mosque physically, I would just say, study the lessons, study the teachings, play your videos, just keep yourself grounded spiritually, because the devil is real, and we all know. You have a voice inside of you saying, "Oh, you could do this. Oh, you could do that. Oh, go just everybody's drinking. Go have some wine." You have that. We all have that challenge. So the question becomes, can you deal with that? How are you going to deal with that? Are you going to true to what you believe, or are you going to succumb to what everybody else is doing? And so I just have learned that when the negative thoughts, negative conversations in my own head, I just say, get behind me, Satan. I mean, I have a real conversation, get behind me, Satan, because I'm not doing that. I'm not going there. I don't want that. And I mean, I have to make it real, because we have so many things coming at us. I remember the minister saying, I think it was like 50 tons of pressure coming at us in every direction. And, sometimes you're overwhelmed. You don't even know why you're overwhelmed. And it's because of the stress of life. So you have to go to the beach. You have to go to the spa, go get a massage, go get your nails done, go run, go to the track, go to the gym. You have to do things that you love, that you enjoy, and that's good for you. You have to find yourself around like-minded people. Sometimes you have to separate yourself from all of your friends, because maybe they're on a different frequency. Maybe they're not thinking where you're thinking. So then you need to find someone that can help you stimulate your brain power, instead of always being the one stimulating everybody else's brain power. And then you go home and you're drained. You're like, oh my God, what happened? You don't even know. You just gave all your energy to someone that is not giving it back. So, the wealth of knowledge that we have in Islam, listen, sisters, we don't even have time to be depressed or frustrated. Whatever your situation is, know that Allah loves you. He came here to give us life abundantly, and you will be successful. You may not have everything you want in life, but you will definitely get some of the things that you desire. He will give it to you. All you have to do is go after it. You can't say, I want $1 million and sit at home and do nothing. How are you going to get the million? Where's your plan of action? You have to have a plan and a thought on how I'm going to get $1 million. And I mean, I've always said that I want to be a millionaire, and I'm not saying I'm there yet, but I mean, maybe some things could be worth that amount, but I don't know. But I'm just saying that put a figure on what you want. Sometimes we don't even want money. Sometimes we want spiritual, mental, physical, emotional health. That's important. If you have all that in place, then you'll be able to get some money, but you need to get all that in place first. Yeah. So I think working on our spiritual self is the most important thing we can do. The same way we were doing Ramadan, how come we just can't do it year round? How come we just can't stay on that high?
Excellent. Yes, ma'am. All right. And people are showing you love all across the country too. Saying all praises due to Allah. This is beautiful. Okay, I'm assuming this is somebody who went with you to Egypt, because she said this is beautiful. Egypt was beautiful. Naima said praise be to Allah, it's beautiful. And I can't wait to put this on YouTube. What would you like your legacy to be, ma'am?
Oh, that's such an excellent question. Fahim is in my second son is in the Final Call newspaper on page 24 of this issue. And I absolutely love that we're talking about generational wealth. I never wanted my children to have nothing. I strive to build and have businesses so that I could give them something. I didn't want them to have to start where I started from. So I think my legacy would be several different things, but one for my family, generational wealth. For the community, one for your sister, what you want for yourself. If you can help one, do it. We just fed 500 people, or 400 people during Ramadan. The sister, the MGT Vanguard, and myself. It's my 15th year doing it. I don't have any problems with it. My kitchen, my house turns into a real restaurant during Ramadan. And we go out and the brothers came to my home and they took dinners to Watts, to Compton. They took dinners to downtown, to Skid Row. 50 dinners here, 50 dinners here, 100 dinners here. We fed the community. So you have to want for your sisters and brothers that which you want for yourself. The Quran says it all the way from the beginning to the end. Be good, do good, help others, help the poor, help the needy. You want to be successful? Be good, do good, help the needy, help the poor, bring people to the mosque. That's what I'm doing. I'm looking at everything the Quran says. If you do this, you'll be successful. Look at that list and then go do it. Go do it. Exactly what it says. Be good, do good, and go help the poor and the needy. And when we find ourselves doing that, Allah gives it back tenfold. Whatever you give, He's going to give you back more.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
All praises to Allah. Excellent, and what a legacy to have. I want to thank you on behalf of myself, my family, and the viewing audience of the People's Podcast for giving us some amazing information as well as inspiration. I want to thank everyone who's watching, and I look forward, Sister Queen Aminah, to speaking with you in person, because now I feel like we know each other even more, so I look forward to having a conversation with you in person to get some more business acumen and just energy and spiritual high-level understanding in person, inshallah.
Oh, yes, sir. Anytime.
Yes,
thank you. I love the believers, and anything I can do to help anybody in righteousness, I will.
Yes, ma'am. But this is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off with the People's Podcast. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you all for watching.
Assalamu alaikum.
Thanks so much.